1977 Comeback Player of the Year was awarded to Broncos quarterback Craig Morton. This video will show that one of the traits that made Morton's 1977 season so special was his toughness. His 1976 season was a painful one too. On March 7, 1977, he was traded to Denver and had a Cinderella-type season. Before I get into Craig Morton's amazing career turnaround, let's go back and see how his football career unfolded. Please click the like button. It helps the video to reach other football fans. Larry Craig Morton was the University of California at Berkeley's quarterback from 1962 through 1964. In 1962 and 1963, his head coach was Marv Levy, and in 1962, Bill Walsh was an assistant coach. Both coaches are member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He never played on a winning team at Cal, and in the 1964 East-West Shrine game, he was the starting quarterback for the West, while future pro teammate Roger Staubach was the starting quarterback for the East. Morton finished in 7th place for the 1964 Heisman Trophy, ahead of Alabama quarterback Joe Namath and Kansas running back Gale Sayers, both future Pro Football Hall of Famers. The Oakland Raiders of the AFL drafted the 6'4", 210-pound Morton in the 10th round, while the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL drafted him in the 1st round with the 5th overall pick. Morton signed with the Cowboys. From 1965 through 1968, Morton only started 5 games due to the presence of starting quarterback Don Meredith's highly effective play. Meredith made the NFL All-Star team each year from 1966 through 1968, and he finished in 3rd place for the 1966 NFL MVP award. Morton took the reins of the Cowboys offense in 1969 after Meredith retired. He immediately became renowned for his highly effective, deep down the field passing, as his 16.2 yards per completion led the NFL. In Week 4 at Atlanta, Morton had a fantastic 131 passer rating. He connected with number 19 Lance Redensel on a 36-yard completion and a 23-yarder to future Hall of Fame tight end Mike Ditka. During the game, Atlanta's middle linebacker Tommy Nobis dislocated Morton's passing shoulder on a tackle. In an amazing display of toughness and competitiveness, Morton had a stretch of 10 consecutive pass completions in Week 5 against the Eagles. He threw 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter, with 5 overall in only 3 quarters of play, as the Cowboys rolled to a 49-14 win. He didn't miss any games due to the injury and had shoulder surgery after the season ended. Here's some more accurate long-range bombing from the 1969 season. In 1970, Morton was even more dangerous as a deep ball thrower. His 17.8 yards per completion again led the NFL, is currently the 12th highest of all time, and no full-time quarterback has bested this mark since. In 1970, Craig Morton led the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, but in 1971 it was Roger Staubach who led them to the Super Bowl. By 1973, Staubach had cemented his claim as being the Cowboys' sole starting quarterback, and Morton made continuous trade demands. On March 8, 1974, Morton was selected by the World Football League's Birmingham Americans in the WFL Professional Draft second round. He didn't sign a contract with them, however. On April 10, 1974, he did sign a contract with the Houston Texans of the WFL for their 1975 season. He never played it down for them because he was traded by the Cowboys to the New York Giants on October 22, 1974. He played in his first game for them just 5 days after the trade. Against Dallas, he was sacked 4 times, intercepted 3 times, and didn't throw any touchdowns in a 21-7 loss. In the trade, the Cowboys received the Giants' 1975 first-round draft pick that Dallas used to select future Hall of Famer Randy White and 1976 second-round pick that ended up being running back Jim Jensen. Ironically, Jensen was traded back to Denver on September 12, 1977, after not gaining any scrimmage yards in 1976. He played in the Super Bowl game against Dallas on January 15, 1978. In 3 seasons as a Giant quarterback, Morton only threw for 5,734 yards, 29 touchdowns, with 49 interceptions, along with an 8-win and 25-loss record as a starter. He misfired on an all-too-frequent basis, and when he was on target, receivers like Doug Kotar dropped passes. In 1976, Morton only threw 9 touchdown passes against 20 interceptions, and his 55.9 passer rating was ranked 19th out of 25 qualifiers. In his defense, he didn't have much receiving talent to work with. Ray Rhodes played his last season at wide receiver. He switched to cornerback in 1977. Rookie Jimmy Robinson was inexperienced and only caught 18 passes for 249 yards and 1 touchdown. Walker Gillette was a 7-year veteran in 1977 who caught 16 passes for 263 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he retired at the end of the season. Tight end Bob Tucker was the Giants' only legitimate threat with 42 catches, but he only averaged 11.9 yards per reception with 1 touchdown. They were unmerciful sometimes. Morton was quoted as saying of the Giants fans, "Morton had a terrible time with the Giants. The worst time occurred when Giants fans cheered him after he was pummeled by Seattle Seahawks defensive linemen and laying on the turf, writhing in pain." Assistant coach John McVay became the Giants head coach in Week 8 after Bill Arnsparger was fired after a 0-win start. Andy Robustelli was a Giants legend as a player, but a forgettable one as their general manager. He was quoted as saying, "We were a young building team. We could not surround Craig with the good people he needs to function properly. Since that was the case, You gotta wonder why he gave up so much in order to get him. On March 3rd, 1977, Robustelli traded Morton to the Broncos for quarterback Steve Ramsey and a 1978 fifth-round draft pick who became wide receiver Brian DeRue from the University of Redlands. DeRue never played for the Giants, and Ramsey was released before the start of the 1977 season. Here's some footage of Ramsey from Week 11 of the 1976 season. This touchdown pass to Riley Odoms was the last one of Ramsey's career, and ironically it came against the Giants in a 14-13 win for Denver. Morton became the Broncos' 26th quarterback to start a regular season game in their 18-year history. In 1977, he had also become the first quarterback to lead two different teams to a Super Bowl, and is the only quarterback to lead two different teams to their first Super Bowl. Not only was Morton the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year, but he was the Sporting News AFC Player of the Year, United Press International's NFL MVP, and finished second in the Associated Press's NFL MVP vote. At age 34, these were tremendous forms of recognition. Credit should be given to the far superior receiving corps that Morton enjoyed over his Giants counterparts. Crafty 31-year-old Haven Moses only had 27 catches and 4 touchdowns, but his 20 yards per catch signified a legitimate deep threat. On 4th down and only 1 minute 46 seconds remaining, Moses and Morton came up huge and won Week 9's game 17-14. Compliments of this play. In Week 11, Rick Upchurch lit up the home crowd with a 41-yard scoring pitch and catch. This game breaker averaged 20.4 yards per catch on the season. Tight end Riley Odoms made second-team All-Pro for the 1977 season. He had made first-team All-Pro in 1974 and 1975. Wide receiver Jack Dolbin set the Atlantic Coast Conference 220-yard dash record at Wake Forest. He chipped in with 26 catches and a fine 17 yards per catch. Running back Lonnie Perrin only caught 6 passes all year, but this 41-yard touchdown helped Denver defeat San Diego 17-9 in Week 13 to run the Broncos' one-loss record to 12-1. In 1977, Morton led the NFL with a 7.28 yards per pass attempt. He had the 4th highest passer rating in the NFL and only threw 11 interceptions in 14 games in which he started every one. While his 14 touchdown passes may seem like a low total, it was the 9th highest in the league. In 1976, when Morton was sacked 39 times, it was the second most in the league. And in 1977, when he was sacked 43 times, it was also the second most in the league. He was not known for his mobility due to lingering knee problems. Morton said, "I always had bad knees. I got my first knee injury when I was a sophomore in college. They thought I was a punt returner. Prior to the start of the AFC Championship game, Morton spent Tuesday through Friday in a hospital. He had blood and other fluid drained from his hip and thigh. His left leg was swollen in a 2-inch circumference of painful coagulated blood, and his leg was black in color. I never practiced for the Raiders. Redhead practices closed. Nobody knew that I was not there, Morton said. The Broncos kept the secret from the press, which later led to a change in NFL media policy. He was only knocked down 2 times in the game and played the entirety. Broncos kicker Jim Turner said, "Honestly, it looked like Craig had been hit by a car. His leg looked really scary. He probably still should have been in the hospital, but this was the AFC title game. It's a testament to Craig's toughness that he did what he did." While the Cowboys manhandled Morton and the Broncos in the Super Bowl, the result should not deter from the amazing 1977 comeback season of Craig Morton.